What's up, guys? Turbo Man 351 here. I gotta say, man, I scored junkyard gold. Absolutely. Sometimes you go to the junkyard, and most of the time when I go, it's just, the pick of the crop, just getting another motor that has to be broken down, cleaned, and so on. But this time, oh yeah. Okay, so I go to the junkyard. There's a Ford F-250, and I'm looking at the truck, and it's got some tinted windows and maybe 2 tire sizes up from stock, but that's it. Nothing crazy, nothing we're like, hey, this is something special, Just your typical 351 Windsor. That's it, right? I think it was a 95 year in the truck. So I take everything apart. And the first thing I noticed when I took everything apart were the bearings, right? And I'm looking at these bearings and I'm like, yeah, these are just your typical Ford bearings, right? And I'm looking and I'm like, wait a minute, dude. That says Cleveite on there. Yeah, it sure does. 77, so these are the good bearings. And then I look at it, it says .001. All right, so they want 1/1000ths looser on the mains, probably to give it more oil and just protect you a little bit if you add a power add, or not really a power adder, but maybe a cam or something down the road. You got the bearing clearance to protect you. So I didn't think anything of it, right? I'm like, okay, so the engine had a rebuild, no big deal, and just your typical probably new bearings, and they just cleaned it up, right? But that's when I had some piston rings, and I was just putting the pistons in. I cleaned everything up, and I just wanted to put one in the bore, just to see how it sit, because I'm thinking all these are stock, right? Well, I go put the piston in the regular 4-inch bore. That's a stock 4-inch bore on a Windsor, okay? And I'm like, dude, that don't fit, right? And I'm like, what is going on, man? So I grab my 30 thousandths overbore Moroso, and guess what, dude? It fit. Yup. I scored a complete engine rebuild that I found in the junkyard that somebody had rebuilt. Gosh, this motor is now what? 27 years old now. So maybe in the early 2000s, this motor was pulled. It was rebuilt. They bored it 30 thousandths over. They put new bearings in it. Everything else on the engine, you like that paint job, they didn't deck it that I'm aware of. Actually, no, they didn't deck it because it had the stock intake and the stock gaskets were on it. So normally when you deck an engine, you have different aftermarket gaskets to make up for what was taken off, so your intake and everything still lines up. So that wasn't done, which was good because I was a little worried about that. But all I have to do to this is just give it a dingle ball hone, knock the glaze off, and just, put some new rings on. And I got a 30 over 351, actually 357 Windsor. How about that, dude? That's a score, man. Now, very rarely around up in this area we got a local Hagerstown Speedways up here, so it's a big racing area up here where I live. Outside of Frederick, Maryland, you got Maryland Performance up the road, which is a really big performance shop here on the East Coast. And then you got Joe Simpson, who's all over YouTube, the tuner guy, who's also here in Maryland. And so there's a lot of stuff up here for racing. But anyway, because out of the other 351 that I had, if you guys remember, because you got to be careful what you get, Look at that, dude. I don't know if I've ever showed that to you, but that is a major meltdown, brother. This came out of a stock engine, okay? No power adder, no nothing. And for it to do that without a turbo or a supercharger, I'm thinking these cats ran nitrous through the motor and we're out in the field and we're just trying to blow it up. And I'm the lucky dog that went to the junkyard and thought it was good, ripped it apart, found this, and was like, that's not good. But that engine I sold, I redid it all and sold it to a friend. I don't know if I ever showed you these. these are SRP pistons, and look at that. Oh, yeah, dude. I broke the freaking gaplins on that puppy. Yep, and here's the carnage, man. This is when you first buy Terminator X, and you don't know what you're doing, and you think you do with the timing and the static timing. And this is what happens when you think it's right, and you go floor it, and all of a sudden, kapooey. Yeah, your catch can starts spitting out a lot of smoke and blow-by. Yeah, that's what happens when you don't know what you're doing and you watch YouTube too much and you think that everybody's got Terminator X and it's got self-learning and hey, it'll just run, right? Yeah, man, it'll be okay. No. I'm a perfect example of that because that was horrible. Plus, those SRP pistons are heavy slugs, dude. These puppies are heavy, man. I'm glad I didn't run those. I took these out because, you know, obviously these are 30 thousandths pistons here. And, yeah, dude, they fit. I couldn't believe it, man. I could not believe I scored that. So obviously I got everything done here. Look at those mains, dude. They look brand new, don't they? I got an awesome cleaning job up here. About to put in new cam bearings. New bearings, completely rebuild this engine. I already got the plugs in. Got a plug in here. And I'm going to put the freeze plugs in down here. I was going to go into screw-in ones, man. You know, just tap that, but nah, that's a waste of time. Oh, did some mods on this too. See here? Blue Oval, dude, is the one I learned this from. I tapered all these oil holes to give this block and over here a better oiling job, man. And also, I did it down here too. You can see right there where I kind of just went with the Dremel. All you're doing is just knocking down the sharp edges and just contouring them so the oil will just flow faster and more. You know, look at that paint job, dude. That looks like blue candy. Man, that's that tractor paint, dude. That's really thick and it's got like a lot of like clear in it and lacquer or whatever. That stuff is the bomb. Plus I have engine header paint below this. So that the paint don't chip and peel. That's a little trick right there that you can do is get that engine header exhaust paint, you know what I mean? It looks like something like this, I guess. Alright, and what you do, you use this as your, you know, your first coat on there. Where is it, dude? Where's the thing that I had here? Dude, I got all this stuff in here. You use that as your primer, the engine header paint, because it takes heat really well. And when this engine gets hot, you know, which it doesn't really, just 150, but the paint won't chip. That's a little trick somebody taught me. It won't crack and everything like that. But all right, dude, that's a little trick I got there, man. Nice little score there. A 357 out of the junkyard that was rebuilt. Still going to go over with the fine-tuned Kofto. You know, going to measure the bores with the dial bore gauge just to make sure. But it is 30 thousandths over. I mean, just to be sure, I actually had to look on the pistons here. And you can see, you probably can't see that. But you can see it right there, that marking 030, which is, yep, you betcha, 30 thousandths. Pistons. These things look dead stock, don't they? Like, they look like nothing aftermarket. It just looks like a Ford piston. Because normally the new ones have those little eyebrows carved in, but these don't. Which tells me this was a early rebuild. Like, 2005, maybe? Who knows? It could have been in the 90s, man. Which would be odd. An engine that's 95... casting, and then just 5 years later they rebuild it. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? What can you say? But all right, dude. The Fox is there chilling. Just went out for a shakedown run. Car's running really good. It's winter up here. It's about 50 degrees. It ain't bad. And yeah, dude. Car's running good. I thank the Lord for that. It's just a pleasure to enjoy the car now and not have to worry about all those bugs I was trying to figure out. And yeah, dude, cool. All right, guys, that's the update up here in the turbo camp, man. Just chilling. Got the view out here on the deck. God is good, man. He's definitely blessed us to be out here and have a shop like this. You know, it's a pole barn, but hey, dude, it works, man. It works. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Hit the like. Hit the subscribe. Peace.